Yeah, that's brilliant. I had a question, and I was going to say, right. So that's England and is it
Wales.
England and Wales? So what about elsewhere? Because you were
So
talking about.
Scotland, it's a letter that basically asks them to deregister, and you need to provide a bit of information about the kind of resources your child will use.
Mhm.
There's a template for that on our website that our amazing admin Stacey wrote. And the home education guidance has just changed in Scotland, so we've updated the website with that.
Yeah.
And again, they shouldn't unreasonably withhold consent. It should be a straightforward situation. But if you run into any difficulties, Stacey or one of us can help you with that.
Fabulous. Well, so it is quite straightforward. Um,
It,
my
yeah.
my other query that quite a lot of parents ask is, what do I need to be doing once I home ed? Do they need to be following curriculum? Do I need to prove this? What's about the local authority? It
Yep.
it's that's scary. That scares them because they're worried about fines and getting into
Yeah.
trouble. So what can you share? What's your words of wisdom?
Okay. So the way you just said home ed just reminded me. Let's go back a bit and cover something that me and you have both noticed, as have most of the home ed community. The term homeschooling. If you have it in your head that you are homeschooling, you are going to think curriculums, you are going to think structured, being checked up on. And that's not what home education is. So, homeschooling, in its sort of legal sense, means your child is registered at school but can't attend, so the local authority and school provide learning at home.
Mm.
Once you deregister your child from school, you are not homeschooling, you are home educating. And that confusion in language changes how you think. It affects what the local authority do. Schools can refuse to deregister because they think they're going to be providing the learning. If you say homeschooling, it has a knock-on effect, and the media use it against us, and it's messy. So always try to refer to it as home education. So the first thing to do is try to stop thinking like school. That
Mm.
is one way of providing an education. And you've chosen to home educate probably because school isn't right. So, what we suggest is a period of deschooling. Now, unfortunately, the government misunderstood what deschooling was and wrote it into guidance that it wasn't allowed. What it really means is time to get school thinking out of yours and your child's system.
Mm.
Doesn't mean no education. It means taking a step back a little bit, letting the child figure out who they are and how they learn. That's learning. So we explain deschooling and all the other styles of home education on the website as well. You need to not jump straight in to school like learning. Yes, that is a way that suits some children, and
Mhm.
most children straight out of school think that's the only way to learn. But you need to not. You need to just take a step back, let the child figure out what works for them. So you can't be fined once you've deregistered. You can't get into trouble for not doing school at home. All styles of learning are valid. Some people use terms like unschooling, autonomous, semi-structured, structured. They're sort of the core choices. But most families fall through a mixture of those, and it changes throughout time anyway, whatever's right for the child. So those first few weeks, sometimes months, the child might have trauma that they need to work through. They might need to focus on their mental health. They might need to focus on just day-to-day living. Or they might have plans that they want to go to university in 3 years, if they're an older teenager, and that they need to knuckle straight down and get on
Yeah.
and achieve what they need to achieve. Reading our website will help everybody understand all this process, but you've got to try to find the right words. You've sort of got to trust the process in a way, and
Mm.
trust that things will fall into place as the child adjusts
and not panic.
yeah,
That's
no,
what you do. You instantly panic. I mean, I've had my son, he dropped out. And
yeah.
you're like, he's got to be doing something. He's under 18. He's got to be doing something.
So you don't actually, once you reach 16, you are not of compulsory school age. So you can actually get a job or do whatever you want once you post 16. You can stay in bed, you can go to college, but you don't have to. So if you decide to start home education post 16, that's a whole different matter, and probably something people should read on the website because it's quite complex.